Oh, sorry guys, had a couple of technical difficulties there. Had to get that fixed. So had to switch over to the to my phone. But it doesn't. It looks like I'm not getting chat again like I'm supposed to. So I don't know. You guys throw something in the chat for me. Let me know you're still there. You guys there? Oh man, this thing is. Angry Grandma's back. Go Tigers. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened right there. That was thought we had enough battery on there, and with it being charged, and I figured it would be going, but I guess not. What's up, VT Dub? I lost like almost all the people I had on here because of that. It was annoying. Let me see. I think the UGA candy built. Let me throw a chat in here. Trying to get this one back, but it's not working too good. So I don't know what's going on. Probably gonna have to start this one back up just to end this stream so that the other one will pop up like it's supposed to. There we go. Sorry guys, this thing just went crazy all of a sudden. So anyway, man, I blinked and missed it. It looks like Justin Fields just scored again, man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was interesting. Let's let that thing charge up a little bit. Let's see what he's got here. Or are they showing a look at that? Boom. Perfect pass. Perfect pass. Tag on the extra point. Good to go. All right. So, let's see. Carson, what did you ask, buddy? Phil's got another touchdown. I want to see Stetson Bennett by the third quarter. I want to see DeJuan Mathis by the third quarter. Let's see Phil's against Purdue and Iowa. Man, he's going to crush him. I just think that style of offense is better for him. This game will be a great confidence booster. What's going on, James? This game will be a great confidence booster for Justin Fields. That program coming out there and dominating a lesser opponent like that, they should be absolutely able to just crush whomever they come up against until they get to some power schools. Justin Fields certainly has some talent. He's had a couple of years, even though he really hasn't played much. He's had a couple of years to get into the rhythm of what's going on. So, see if I can pull this up. All right, I'm gonna mute that one so I can have this stream up because mine's not reporting properly on the other one. What's going on, Sarah? Toledo leading Kentucky 7-0. That ain't no surprise. First game of the season, so I mean, not a big surprise there. Hey, you guys do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like all that good stuff. Do me another favor and share it. I really appreciate when you guys share it and it kicks it around on social media. It just expands the channel into places that I normally can't get to. Mathis was cleared to play. I want to say, I think he was cleared to play. It was cleared to play a while back. Let me double check that. Now you got me questioning myself. Let's just do Google, and then we'll do DeJuan Mathis. Game day, man. I am so friggin' excited. This morning we had a garage sale because we're moving and we're getting rid of some stuff. The last minute one. Oh yeah, that was another player we stole from Ohio State. I really thought that I had read that DeJuan Mathis was cleared. Alabama will beat Duke by 20. They'll probably beat Duke by 30 points. I'm just going to type in cleared and see if that pulls it up. Battery on this is dying. Hold on. So my iPad was initially supposed to be charging, and I guess I don't know what happened, but I didn't pay enough attention to make sure everything was charged the way I should. So now I'm having to fight back and forth with making sure you guys can see me and all this other stuff. So I apologize for the poor camera quality, but I had initially set it up on the iPad. The iPad's at like next to nothing. I thought it was charged up, but it was on like 3%, and then it died even though I had it on charge. So it is what it is. No big deal. Get back to this so I can see what's going on. Let's see. Mathis should redshirt if he can. Hey, what's going on, Spoon? I can't wait to see Zeus play. I don't think that DeAndre Swift was cleared to play. So, I mean, it's highly likely you're going to get to see him because we tend to do running back by committee. Man, look at that. Ohio State is just beating them up. Good night. Do this. What's going on with this thing? Oh, Utah State almost beat Wake Forest yesterday. Auburn versus Oregon is going to be a great game. I think that Auburn is going to surprise Oregon, but I think in the end, I think Oregon's got a shot at pulling that out just because of the air raid offense. Kentucky looking terrible. What's my thoughts on Texas A&M? Texas A&M is probably a top 15 team. We'll see how they do. VTW, the road to 15-0 starts about 7 hours from now for the Dogs. I want to see complete domination. Not only do I want to see domination, I want to see domination, devastation, eradication, vindication, and elimination. I want them to kick them down. And as far as that whole thing about, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Dan Mullen's like, yeah, first week jitters, blah, blah, blah. We didn't do that good because of that. And it was like, you've seen some of these other teams play? They look outstanding. Here he goes on a return. Oh, knocked his helmet off. He tackled him and still lost his helmet. Oh. Kentucky has been crying all offseason about nobody respecting them. Respect is earned, not given. Dan Mullen is trash. Absolutely. Auburn D-line is nasty. The Oregon QB won't have enough time. I don't know if they'll be able to get to him in time. That quarterback's pretty quick. They run a fast-paced offense out there, so he's used to throwing the ball. And with the wide receivers they have, he doesn't have to wait long to put that ball in the air. He can put a little touch on it. That ball will float downfield. That receiver will get under it. You might be surprised. So let's see here. I'm watching Justin Fields handoff, fake the handoff, roll out to the right, throw, caught, just about a yard short of the first down, second down. He looks comfortable though. He does look comfortable. That pass was to Hill Jr. What's going on, Dennis? Man, ain't seen you in a hot minute, buddy. It's like I lost some of the people on the stream a while ago. One of them was Jesse, but I hate to see her go. She threw in a super chat earlier. Let's see here. Just so you guys know, what's dude? I don't want to say your name wrong, man. But is it Nagasori? What's going on, Carson? Look at that pass. Man, that was pretty wide open touchdown. So for those of you that's new to the channel, I watch on PlayStation View. So I'm sometimes 30 minutes. I mean, excuse me, 30 seconds to 2 minutes behind you guys. It's another great day to be in the Army. Nah, not for me anymore. I'm not in the Army anymore, buddy. But I appreciate your service, man. Man, Ohio State is tearing a hole in FAU. Of course they are. They want to come out there and dominate. They're 5th ranked. They're doing exactly what they should be doing. They're on pace. They have scored 21 points in the first 6 minutes. I mean, at that pace, they could easily score over 100 points in this game. Probably what you'll see is Justin Fields is going to stay out there. They're not really putting pressure on him. They're going to give him an opportunity. They're probably going to slow the offense down and start practicing some of their plays to get him more comfortable. I'll laugh if Kentucky loses to Toledo. What's up, Brett from South Georgia? Go dog. I guess that's dogs. What's up, Shane? Is it Shane T60? What do I think of Bo Nix? I think Bo Nix is a good quarterback. I think he's going to do what all freshman quarterbacks do, and it's can you guys hear me now? Is that better? I think Bo Nix is going to do what Bo Nix always does. Bo Nix always does what freshmen always do. He's going to come out. He's going to play some good. He's going to come out and play some good quality football. What's going on, Keith? But he's going to make freshman mistakes. That's all part and parcel of it. I don't think Gus Malzahn is any type of quarterback whisperer. So I think that he's gonna struggle a little bit, but he's gonna be fine. I think that offensive line is gonna be good enough to protect him. I think Auburn's defense is gonna be their strong suit. I think they'll be fine. Patrick says Auburn's gonna get walloped. Excuse me. I don't know that that's gonna be the case. I think that Gus Malzahn is going to put together a good enough offense. He's had all offseason to study that tape. He'll put together a pretty good game plan for him. We won't bring as much of the havoc against Vandy, but the defense will let loose against Notre Dame. You're probably going to see Georgia chomping at the bit. At least that's going to be my opinion, kind of like how you see Ohio State doing. They're going to look to come out and confirm their position of where their ranking is in the state and start making everybody question them. Malzahn is going to come out with a lot of movement, a lot of trick plays. But I think at the end, I think Oregon's got a shot to win that game. And keep in mind that the one thing that's really tough for Auburn is that Auburn typically doesn't play teams that have that style of offense. So we're going to see how they do. It's really going to test their cornerbacks and their safeties. Fields is on fire. There's no doubt about it, but he's also playing against a middle school team. Found out on College Football Live yesterday that Bo Nix was an Auburn/Oregon BCS national championship as a kid. He was what? He was at that game. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. So let's see what else we got on the old entertainment here, because they're clearly getting killed. What's going on in Mississippi and Memphis? Mississippi and Memphis. Man, these guys are playing hard. We're about halfway through the first quarter, still scoreless. Second down probably means it's been a lot of back and forth. Not anything really exciting there. Is Clemson or Bama or Georgia going to win it all? Don't be biased. Here's what it comes down to. Clemson's going to walk into the college football playoff. I don't know if they're going to be softer or better because of the teams they're playing. They're not playing a lot of high quality teams. It's hard to say. Stetson Bennett can go take Felipe Frank's job. Yes, he could. As a matter of fact, I believe Rodrigo Blankenship could take his job. Alabama's going to have a strong team as always, and Georgia is got one of the best rosters we've ever had. So to say who's going to win what, I don't know. But if you look at the offensive defensive line, I think Georgia has the best offensive and defensive line in the country right now combined. So, I mean, if it comes down to games are won in the trenches, then that's absolutely a strong case for Georgia. But those three teams are all, in my opinion, equally elite, but in different ways. And it's possible for any of those teams to win. If you were to take any two of those teams and play them 10 times in a row, you're never going to find anybody who's going to win all 10 games in a row. It's going to go, 60-40 or 30-70 or 50-50. I mean, it can just go either way. Clemson loses to TAMU. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think that there's going to be a lot of there might be a little bit of struggle in the first half, but if you watch how Clemson played when they opened up against Georgia Tech, that's incredible. Trevor Lawrence made a couple of bad passes and a couple of interceptions. To be honest with you, that's a good thing for him to do. I know it sounds like a crazy thing to say, but it was actually good for him to throw a couple of interceptions. That'll keep him humble. That'll keep him working towards his goal. It'll keep him on point. It'll keep him from thinking he's too big for what's going on, and he'll take it more seriously. I want to see more sacks and tackles for losses from our defense. I have no doubt you'll see that this year. Kirby Smart and the defensive coordinator have been focusing on the havoc rate. You can rest assured that they have been focusing on getting in the backfield and creating problems. Jimbo almost beat him last year. Yeah. But, I mean, we also, we lost LSU last year. We lost Texas last year. And I would have, and I'll tell you again, if I had to play those games over again, I'd take them in a heartbeat. Because I believe we should have won those. The SEC is off to a bad start this season. Don't matter how you start, matters how you finish. Looks like Memphis just scored a touchdown. So that's a little. Memphis is putting a little work on Ole Miss there. Let's see, Florida Atlantic versus Ohio State, East Carolina versus North Carolina State. Let's see what they're doing in that game. We looked at the film from the team. Let's see. We looked at film from teams like Clemson and Oregon to improve the havoc rate. Absolutely. Alabama will go to the SEC championship undefeated. I wouldn't be so sure of that. North Carolina State up 7. It's very possible that LSU could beat Alabama this year. They're changing their offensive play style to try and combat the type of defense that Alabama has been running. And I think it's certainly possible it might be enough of a change to, if Alabama has a rough game, they could sneak away with a win there. Nebraska come out looking good. They scored a touchdown, and they're about halfway, and now it's 4th and 12. See what kind of pass. Oh, man, that was nearly picked off. Oh, that should have been picked off. Man, you gotta hang on to those. Jimbo went up against Clemson when he was at Florida State. Jimbo knows what it's like to play at Clemson Memorial Stadium. He does. That place is intense, man. Does Alabama, Clemson, or Oklahoma have a better offense? Oof. It's really hard to say. Alabama seems to traditionally have an offense that can regularly put 50 points on the board. Clemson seems to be able to do it at ease, and so does Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma has a great offense, but I think consistency-wise, I think Clemson is probably just a little bit above Alabama and Oklahoma, and in that order. I'd say Clemson, Alabama, and then Oklahoma. As far as field goal kickers, I believe Alabama's dead last. If UGA and Alabama go undefeated, does the loser of the SEC to championship make it in? I would say it would depend on how that game was played. If it was another close game, I'd say absolutely. If it's a dominating blowout where one team or the other gets manhandled, I would probably lean in the category of probably not. I mean, if Georgia goes and plays against Alabama and it's 50-0, Jake Fromm throws 3 or 4 interceptions and constantly fumbling the ball. He's sacked every other play. I don't think that's going to be the kind of performance that's going to convince a football playoff committee to put the two SEC teams in. Now, they've done it before, but it's got to be a one-loss team. And that one loss that they took was not in the SEC championship. So if it was in the SEC championship, that might make a deciding factor, but who knows? Oh, new to the channel, by the way. Played for Kirby's dad in high school in Bainbridge. I know why Kirby is so hard. His dad killed us. Well, maybe you can get a sideline tickets and we'll go hang out with Kirby and I'll listen to you guys talk about how it used to be back in the good old days. Do you think Nick Saban wins another national championship before retirement? Yes, I do. And I also kind of think that's what he wants to do. I think he wants to kind of that final. I won't say get over the hump, but separate himself from Bear Bryant. Laid 50 on the Dogs to cover the 22.5. I hope they don't let me down. I don't think they will. If you look at traditionally across all the times that we played Vanderbilt, you'll find out Georgia really doesn't have a problem covering 22. Just kill Notre Dame so we don't have to listen to them. Hey, man, I'm with you. But the problem is that those guys, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how you tell them, they're always going to talk about how good they are. And then they get in big games and lose. Whether they lose by 1 or whether they lose by 50, they lose. We had a true freshman quarterback, played against Notre Dame, beat them by a point or two. Ole Miss already down. General Shadow Man. That's a pretty cool name, too. Notre Dame has got one of those fan bases where their fans are just ching chong potato about their team. They won't convince their team to join the ACC like the rest of their sports do. No matter how bad they lose in a bowl game or the playoff game, it was never their fault. And it's just lack of consistency. They've never played anybody in a major bowl game that I can find, or in a major or in the playoffs down to the wire. I mean, it's a drubbing, and it's almost sad to watch. Notre Dame is an ACC school. Don't listen to the lies. They are an ACC school. They just won't commit to the ACC rules and regulations to join the ACC conference in football. They're better than jeans short wearing Florida fans. I don't know, Josh. At least those guys are in a conference. I mean, at least they will change a coach trying to find somebody better. Where they say they're going to win in every game and then they lose, they say the game didn't matter or they were cheated. Nakobe Dean looks like he'll play. You've seen. Nakobe Dean plays or doesn't play, it's fine. Man, he almost threw another interception. That Martinez sucks. So, Jimmo, why is Georgia scared to go up against Wisconsin? Who said that? Who said that? Who said Georgia was scared of Wisconsin? First of all, Georgia is not scared to go play against Alabama or Clemson. I don't know why they would be scared to play Wisconsin. I mean, mainly what I see is I see Power 5 schools beating the crap out of middle school teams and then bragging about how tough they are. I don't buy it. 1980, Notre Dame played UGA to the wire and lost at the end. Yeah, but that was nearly 40 years ago. I mean, I don't think there's a coach, staff member, player, administrative assistant in the head office and admissions that's still at either one of those colleges that was there before. Since Florida looks so bad, is Florida going to be able to win the East? Absolutely not. Touchdown FSU. FSU just scored. Oh, Willie Taggart. It looks like South Alabama is starting to gain a little ground against Nebraska. I mean, it just does. They're starting to move the ball. Let me look up the FSU game. What channel is that on? Been posted on Snapchat that he made the 70-man travel roster. So I see him playing today. I know that he was not originally scheduled. He was listed as, I think, questionable for the game. Keith says it's on ESPN News. There we go. Thanks, Keith. Let's see. He's got some athleticism to him. Nice. Stretched it out. That was a nice run. Our schedule this year is almost the exact same schedule from 1980 minus a couple of teams like Missouri. Yeah, it's really funny how all that worked out. But I really don't see. But here's one of the big differences, glaring differences right out of the gate. When Georgia plays Notre Dame, whichever team plays that game, if they lose that game, they're most likely not going to a national championship. Because Notre Dame would have to beat Georgia and then win the rest of their season, which I don't see that happening. And Georgia, if they lost to Notre Dame, they would have to run the rest of the gambit, which is possible. If Georgia beats Notre Dame, there's no way Notre Dame's getting in. You got a football game today, Carson? Nice, man. I should start doing high school football predictions. I don't know enough about them, man. I don't know enough about them. I barely know enough about college football to feel like I can get on here and even talk about it, man. I mean, there's so much to college football, looking up the stats, looking up players, looking up teams, looking up coaches. I mean, I made a 15-minute video about Georgia versus Vanderbilt, and it probably took me 2.5 hours to look up the stuff to feel comfortable enough to create a video to talk about it. Outlaws versus Bearcats. Which team are you on, Carson? The last time Florida State had on-field losing record was 1976. Apple was formed by Steve Jobs. Well, good luck to the Outlaws today, Carson. We wish you best of luck. Most of all, we wish you safety. Duke and Alabama at 3:30. I'll be watching that game as well. Oh, is Alabama the Titan of the West? Yes, and Georgia is definitely the Titan of the East. To give you an idea of the talent level gap between Georgia and even Florida could beat Ole Miss. No, I think Ole Miss would beat Florida at this point. To give you an idea of the talent gap in the East, Georgia has the entire East has 24 5-stars players. 22 of them are on the roster at Georgia. And the disparaging factor of 4 stars is about the same. Let's see. Just recovered from a concussion and was playing running back and defensive end. So, man, concussions are tough, man. Make sure you got the proper pad in your helmet, and make sure that you're fully recovered before you get out on the field. Don't risk another injury. Concussions are really serious. If y'all think shady things happen in college football, go research what goes on at high school level with guys getting perks. I mean, it happens all over, man. I mean, that's any industry, any sport, especially with the amount of money that's involved in college football. There's definitely things that get handed out. I mean, I'm not condoning it or condemning it. I'm just stating the facts. There's players that get stuff from other teams. There's players that get stuff to get recruited. The bills get paid for folks. That's just college football, man. Is it right? No. But what are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. So, I want to see Mel Tucker as head coach of Colorado. I think he'll do some good things. Yeah, he might. Let's say that ball's going forward. I would say that is an incomplete pass. See, the arm is going. Does he hold on to it? Looks like he still got his hand on it. I can see that go either way. That could be either way. Miami Cane. What's up, Big Dog Brett? Keep the video and lives coming. Go Canes. Hey, man, y'all better hunker down. That storm's coming over there. Gonna get a little rainy. Clemson, Jace the Tiger is a Clemson fan for life. Hail State needs Fitzgerald. Fields is showing out. Yeah, Fields is having a great day. Florida State's up 20-3. I'm gonna go back to the Ohio State game. It's on Fox. Come on, there we go. Fields is having a heyday, man. He's racking some numbers. Hey, you guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, man. It really helps. 28. It's still in the first quarter. Good Lord. They better take him out before he gets hurt. Yeah, he's killing it, man. He's killing it. Right now, that coach is going, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. We got Justin Fields. Miami Cane says, live in South Georgia, Big Dog. Always hit the like button. I appreciate it too, man. Ole Miss not looking good. I mean, what does Ole Miss have to play for? I think they're on a bowl ban till somewhere around the time I'm going to retire from my job. So, did he take a shot here? Oh, yeah, he takes a shot. Boom. He said, much love from Florida. Oh, man. Does he get up? He's over there walking it off. That'd be fine. It is Florida Miami, Florida Atlantic. Uh, so Carson says, I don't know if it showed up in this stream. I didn't know this was even a thing. Carson says, why do I only have 1,000 subscribers? This is a 3 million sub channel because of how good it is. I appreciate the compliment. Live 20 minutes from Tallahassee and tickets were $10 because they moved the game. But I still wouldn't go. It sounds like a Miami game for real. Oh man, all day. I appreciate that, Carson. I didn't know this because I'm running the stream on my iPad next to my phone, and Carson made a comment, and it asked me if I wanted to show it or hide it, and I hit show on this side, and it didn't show up on the chat in the regular stream, so that's weird. I don't know if you guys can see his comment or not, but I didn't know that was a thing. So now apparently I have to run two streams so I can see who's streaming what, or see what comments pop up. Targeting call. They call targeting for that against Fields? Tell me they didn't call targeting for that. If that was targeting, that was the weakest targeting call I've ever seen. Okay. Tennessee probably number 4 in the West. Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, and then Tennessee. In the West? Tennessee's in the East, man. Oh, the Memphis game, yeah. That's a possibility. I'm flipping back and forth. Let's see. Oh, scramble. Florida Atlantic. Can they get a first down? Oh, he slid like a mile short. I don't know why quarterbacks do that. It's so crazy. I can see yours, Texas Rocks. Yes, sir, I can. You on here to razz me about the game from last year? Auburn should be in the top 10 this year. We'll see how they play. I mean, the first 2-3 weeks of the season, numbers are kind of almost irrelevant anyway. After these guys get to playing, you'll find out what kind of cohesion they have and what kind of team you're really looking at. It'll give you an opportunity to see some teams get exposed. The numbers will move around, and it'll be a little better seeded. And then as the season, plays out, it'll fine tune itself. A lot of the models for college football don't even work until you get into 3 or 4 weeks into the season when they've got enough data. Texas Rock says, nah, that was last year. Oh my goodness, a Texas fan with a little bit of class. Hot dog. You should be shocked if Bama and Clemson miss. I would be shocked too. I almost think Clemson could lose 2 games and still get in. I really do. I feel like they could lose 2 regular season non-conference games and just dominate the crap out of everybody else, and they'll still get in. Let's see here. Florida Atlantic. Looks like they're on their 19-yard line, 3rd and 3, run play, switch gap. Oh, broke a couple of tackles, picked up a first down. Got to do better than that, Ohio State. The offense is clicking. Defense needs a little work. But it's first game. What can you expect? Oh, man. I moved too much furniture this morning. Ooh. Typically, I do... General Shadow Man says, I honestly have no respect for Clemson. I really haven't had any problems with Clemson fans. I mean, I lived in South Carolina for a while, and Clemson fans were pretty decent to us. Of course, we don't play them much, but South Carolina fans and the Clemson fans used to go back and forth. What do I think the line for the Clemson versus A&M might be? Depending on how Texas A&M does initially, that could be a 20-point favorite for Clemson. Clemson get if they 3 losses in my opinion just because they're Clemson. Maybe I don't see that happening, but stranger things have happened. Alex Howard says Auburn would have been the first 2-loss team in the playoffs if we hadn't destroyed them in the SEC championship. That's possible. 13.5 on Clemson. Big Dog Brett, Clemson won't lose 2 games. They're loaded. The ACC isn't good. That's true, too. The reason I say 20 points is because Clemson has a high-flying offense, and Texas A&M at this point is really unproven. If they come out and flop pretty big, I mean, 14 points is probably realistic right now, but I could see them pushing that up to 20. I mean, first-year head coach. I mean, really, yeah. How about the Aggies? They look the same. Are they on right now? Is A&M on? If so, what channel? They would be overrated. I mean, they very well could be overrated. We'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see. But I don't believe Clemson's going to lose 2 games either, especially with the way they played yesterday. So much is going on right now in my life, dude. It's crazy. Next Saturday, we might have a new backdrop for our video, so we'll see what happens. Texas A&M played on Thursday, won 41-7 against Texas State. It's Texas State, though. I have to look that game up and see what's going on with it. Not really super familiar with them. Salty Dog says, I have zero respect for Clemson. I grew up halfway between Georgia and Clemson, grew up close to them, and used to harass them as much as they did us. Let's see. Zach Games says, Brett would be worried if Georgia played both Alabama and Clemson in back-to-back weeks. Hey, what's going on, Artie? Let's see you join the channel, buddy. Let me see. Would I be worried if Georgia played Alabama and Clemson back-to-back weeks? Yes, and both of those teams would be worried too if they did the same. Dooley Field ceremony is next week for home opener. Yes. Artie, got to ask you, man. After that performance from Florida, do you still think Florida's going to beat Georgia? I'm not trying to razz you. I'm asking. Don't lose to the Aggie, Brett. You'll don't lose the Aggies. Yeah. Texas A&M plays Bama, Clemson, UGA, LSU, and Auburn. Jimbo, he's got his work cut out for him. Yes. They got a tough schedule, and South Carolina has one of the toughest schedules. But back then, we defeated them yearly. Yep. I'm just so glad college football's back on, man. I mean, yeah, it's like the first Saturday in forever that I've been able to have football on the TV and do my show. It's I don't know. It's like putting on my jersey. You know, I hadn't put my jersey on in a couple of months. I've been waiting for the day to put it on. Putting it on just felt right. It's like, finally, put my jersey back on. There he is. I knew Artie was filling it out. Yes, I think it's going to be a good game. I think either one of those teams could win in Jacksonville. Artie. For those of you who don't know, Artie thinks that Florida's going to beat Georgia. And Artie also is believe it or not, is an Auburn fan. So I just don't see how Florida's going to beat Georgia. Something dramatic's got to change. Who else kind of wants Georgia to lose to see Uncle Lou get mad? If I want to see Uncle Lou get mad, I'll just go back and watch one of his other videos. I'm not going to request that Georgia lose to see that happen. I got some old TVs in the garage. I could bust them up too, but yeah, I don't think it'd be the same. Would you be shocked if Bama, Clemson, Georgia, and Oklahoma missed the playoffs? I think everybody in college football would be shocked. Y'all beat the hell out of Notre Dame and Aggie, and I'll be happy. Oh, we're going to do that. Will Frank still be the Gator starter by the time that game is played? I don't know. Uncle Lou is funny. He is. Georgia going to blow the Gators out. That's highly likely. Guys, leave out a chat for 5 seconds. He's like, leave out a chat, hit the like button, and come back. I appreciate that, man. Right now, my chat numbers are all screwed up because I can't tell. I can't tell how many people are in the stream. I can't see any of that stuff right now. All I can see is that right now, and I know there's more people in here than what I see, but right now the chat tells me I have 1 person in the stream and 4 people have hit the like button. So I have no idea how many people's in the stream right now. I mean, typically it'll tell me I've got 20, 30, I've got some likes. I mean, it doesn't really say 26. So I can refresh it on the other side over here. It looks like it'll tell me then, but until then, it won't tell me. The ratio of Georgia fans and Notre Dame fans in Athens will be 99.9 to 1. Oof. That's appreciate the numbers, guys. 26. Thanks. I think it'll probably be. I think it'll probably be 80-20. It's going to be a very, very packed house. Those tickets are very. The fans that are going to be there for Notre Dame are going to be some folks that's got some money because, I mean, by the time you figure the travel down here, stay in a hotel, all that stuff, oh man, it's going to be pricey for a Notre Dame fan. It's pricey for Georgia fans. I mean, tickets are like anywhere from $600 to $2,000 a ticket. It's more than some Super Bowl tickets. Uncle Lou is hilarious. I watch his videos about Urban Meyer being named the Fred Sanford of college football. He's creative, man. I like him. Let's see. Are they changing out quarterbacks yet? Are they leaving Fields in? I can't tell. Let's see. Looks like Fields is still in. They're going to mess around and hurt that guy, and their season's going to be over. Let's see. Or did they change him out just now? Oh. No gain there. Yeah, they still got him in. Psh. Have I ever gotten into a tailgate fight? No. I avoid confrontation at almost every opportunity. CJ Miami Kane 87, not going to happen. Felipe Francis, biggest joke of college football. Yes, probably. Catholics got money, but they won't tithe for a couple of weeks. It's all good. That's messed up, man. As far as physical altercations, I have been in a few in my life, but most of the time I try to avoid them. The potential for losing more than I can gain is not worth the trade-off. Georgia losing Fields hurts. If Jake goes down, you guys are in trouble. I don't think so. Watching Dewan Mathis and Stetson Bennett, those guys are really good. Also, Justin Fields just didn't fit the game style play of Georgia. So, I mean, we basically have to upend our entire offensive play scheme to implement something that would work for Justin Fields. What happened to Charlie Strong? 3rd and long, Charlie Strong? Yeah, 3rd and long, Charlie Strong. That's why he doesn't coach at Texas anymore. He's a terrible coach. Oh, my goodness. Ohio State's having to punt. Let's see. Imagine if every ranked team misses the playoffs. That would be absurd. I mean, I don't even know who you'd put in. Oh, yeah. Army, Navy, Air Force, Boise State. So my wife has been a Texas fan for years. She's a Georgia fan now. But she does pull for Texas on occasion. And the reason that she pulled for Texas is because when she first started watching college football, which was before she met me, whenever Texas came in on the field at Nebraska, the Nebraska fans booed the players. But whenever the Nebraska players come out, the Texas fans stood up and clapped and cheered for Nebraska. And she just thought that was a really classy thing. So she's kind of followed that team ever since. Of course, since then, I've improved her taste in football teams, and now she's a Georgia fan. So then there's that. But I lost a lot of respect for Texas whenever, not necessarily Texas the team, but the coach. When Mac Brown left the team the way he did, I really didn't agree with that. Then they had Mac Brown Then they had Charlie Strong come along, and I think Mac Brown. Good Lord, Charlie Strong was sent there on a mission to destroy that team, which he pretty much single-handedly did. And then Texas has been trying to rebuild ever since. They started to spit and sputter and come along, and now they're starting to get somewhere. So good for them. They still got a long way to go, but they'll get there eventually. The only real team they have to contend with is Oklahoma. And Texas is a great place to recruit from, so there's no reason. No, I'm not a Falcons fan, Benny. Les Miles, Kansas career has begun 7-0 in second quarter. Fields is playing against Florida National. Everybody wants to give him a Heisman now. He's going to be a good quarterback. He's just not going to be super elite for a year or two. Mac ran the program into the ground and wore out his welcome. Mac Brown did good for a while, and then I don't know if it got away from him or the game evolved past him. I'm not sure. But anyway, he didn't take care of the program the way I thought he should. And it just ended up, it has ended up the way it has ended up, but it looks like they're getting it turned around. What did VTW say? Yeah. You want to see how Georgia plays defense and offense against Alabama in the second half. That's what cost Georgia the SEC championship, national championship. Yes. So the things that really cost Georgia the national championship was the defense wasn't quite as good in the second half. We didn't make as good of adjustment as we should have in that fourth quarter. And our play calling got very conservative, and that allowed Alabama to get back in the game. When they changed over to a backup quarterback, we weren't ready for it, and we definitely should have been the second time. But I still think if we'd have beat Alabama in the SEC championship, in all likelihood, Clemson still would have mollywopped us. So, what lost us was coaching. Yeah, wasn't a talent on the field; it was coaching. Kirby's too conservative. He was too conservative in the games, but I think that's been changed. Man, this running back is just losing yards left and right. Oh man. Trevor Lawrence had the worst stats than Franks in his first game. He's not winning any Heisman. Bob Stoops was Mac Brown. Problem. He had great teams but couldn't beat Oklahoma. Yep, that is true. Jermaine Johnson or Nolan Smith? I'm liking Nolan Smith for that role. We'll see what happens. Thought Muschamp was Texas Rocks. I thought Muschamp was the coach in waiting with Mac. Refresh my memory. What happened? Muschamp is a mediocre coach. He's okay. He'll get some players, but he's never going to be a top tier talent coach. Tua or Trevor for Heisman. I think if both of them have the same kind of year, I think Trevor Lawrence. Will Tyler Clark be a playmaker for UGA? He is from my hometown. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Mississippi teams looking terrible. Well, of course, they're from Mississippi. Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Yeah. His biggest failure was recruiting quarterbacks. He recruited Manziel and RG3 as DBs and completely ignored Jameis Winston, and all wanted to go to Texas. Correct. If you're going to play football in Texas, if you don't have a quarterback, at least somewhere along the lines of somebody like Vince Young, then you're not going to do well. You need a quarterback that's got a good strong arm that can make passes downfield, that can hit players in crossing routes. And if you don't have that in Texas, you're not going to be successful, because that's what you're going to be playing against when you play against Oklahoma. A high-power, high-scoring offense. You need a great quarterback and you need good receivers. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. The passing game in that conference is what opens up the running game. If you don't have a running game, if you don't have a passing game, you're not going to have a running game. I'm excited to see Zamir White. I hope Zamir White takes the first handoff in that game. I want to see what he can do. I want to see James Cook, too. Mississippi State suspended 7 players for the opener. Not a surprise. Muschamp was the coach in waiting. He ended up going to somewhere else, but I can't remember if he went to Alabama for a little while and then shifted over and took the job at South Carolina. I can't remember. If Oklahoma had an Alabama or Clemson or Georgia defense, Oklahoma would be unstoppable. Probably. He was at Auburn. Thank you. I apologize. I can't remember all this stuff, man. It's just too much. Went to Florida. Will Muschamp, wasn't he? He was at Florida for a while, and then I think he went to some other coach for a while, and then he went back to South Carolina. Carr said he's playing Fortnite. You need to get Apex, sir. That game was way more fun, and the aiming system is much better. My kids can play Fortnite, and they struggle. They switch over to Apex and dominate folks. They lost to Georgia Southern at the Swamp. Muschamp's always going to be a tier. He's always going to be a tier 3, tier 4 coach. Dan Mullen is about the same caliber as him, in my opinion. I just don't. I don't see either one of those guys doing a whole lot. And by the way, while we're talking about coaches, Kirby Smart has more wins than Derek Mason. Think about that. Derek Mason has played like 60-something games at he has like 60-something games at Vanderbilt. And Kirby Smart's been at UGA for 3 years and has more wins than Derek Mason. Kirby Smart nearly has as many wins in 2 seasons as Derek Mason does in, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 seasons up there. Kirby's made a bowl game every year. The other guys have not. Dan Mullen is a joke. Florida fans love him. He's a Florida man. Where's Uncle Lou at? I need him in here. Oh, man. If Georgia loses a game, who would it be to? I would say, in my opinion, probably Texas A&M be a game we fall asleep on. Gus Malzahn is kind of on the downhill. I think after this year he'll be fired. Who has Georgia played? Woo. Oh, excuse the notification there. I'm trying to figure out why this thing is filtering stuff. I normally don't filter anything. I let people just put in here whatever they want to put in here, and if they get wild with it, I'll just shut them down. You Georgia fans are delusional. Yes, we are. Absolutely. Delusional. That's what fan means, is fanatic. What do I think about Justin Fields' performance? I think it's outstanding. The guys put 28 points on the board in the first quarter. He's doing a good job. I mean, that play style and format fit him and his talents very well. I'm happy for him. Oh, look at that. He tried to jump the route. Missed. That's just bad football. You want Mullen to be bad to help your scariness? What are you talking about, Artie? Artie Clay and you are Artie Clay and you are a delusional troll. Gus has 7 back off. Hold on, what did he say? Gus has 7 back on and off and 7 back on D. He might be dangerous if this QB pans out. It may be. But you got to understand, this quarterback that you're talking about, he's a first-year quarterback. Very, very few first-year quarterbacks are phenoms. I think there's been this ideology that because Jake Fromm came in and worked out, Tua came in and worked out, and Trevor Lawrence came in and worked out, that's normal for true freshman quarterbacks, and it's not. It's normal for a true freshman quarterback to have games like what Jaron Williams had for Miami, which is some good things, some bad things. I mean, that's normal, getting used to the speed and the play style of things. I mean, it's just usually you see these guys will get clobbered. Do I think Saban will ever have a losing season at Bama? You mean like a 5-7 season? Like don't make a bowl game season? I don't think so. I think that he'll recognize the game. If it ever gets to a point where the game passes him by, I think he will realize that they just almost sacked Justin Fields again. I think if he ever realizes that he ever gets to the point where, Fields will most likely get injured before the end of the season. That's true because he's been hit like 3 times hard. Anyway, I think Nick Saban will realize that the game is starting to pass him by, and I think that he will bow out gracefully before that happens to maintain his legacy. Smart used to show recruits Alabama's 2-deep roster so they'd get persuaded to go to Georgia. Stop hating and be realistic. 10-3 his first year, beating 3 top 10 teams his first year is not bad. No, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's not elite. If he was elite, he would have done much better playing against Georgia. But so far, a guy who has never coached college football except for at Georgia beat the brakes off of him back to back. And I don't mean a little bit. I mean a lot of bit. And if Dan Mullen was this truly elite seasoned, well-positioned coach, he would have found a way to beat a quarterback to beat a head coach who's never been a head coach before. I mean, that'd be like me stepping in the ring with Mike Tyson, supposedly never fought heavyweight in my life, and get in there and beat the crap out of Mike Tyson. I mean, that just doesn't happen unless, yeah. So, looks like Ohio State's trying to run the ball now. Picking up a few yards, but not a ton. He has the players. It's coming. Be patient. He's got some players, man. But the biggest problem out of Florida, the biggest two problems with Florida is Dan Mullen and Felipe Franks. And if Dan Mullen is willing to put Felipe Franks in the game, that tells you there's a problem with Dan Mullen. He's had enough time to recruit another quarterback. He just hadn't done it. Oh, wait. Yes, he did. What happened? Can't keep your players on campus because you run your mouth too much. You don't see Nick Saban out there doing that. You don't see Kirby Smart doing that. I mean, even the elite team, you don't see Dabo Swinney out there doing that. I mean, you don't see the head coach of Texas doing that. Why? Because it ain't necessary. That's not what recruits players. Florida got spanked at home by Missouri, spanked by Georgia, and lost at home to Kentucky. Why should we show Florida any respect? Valid question. Well, I have the freedom of speech too, and I can get on here and say anything I want to, but that ain't going to help my case for what I'm trying to do. Do you remember North Texas being in a fair fake catch and return? No, I did not. You don't have to. They will take it. Well, sir, if they can, I hope they do, but I don't foresee that happening. Not anytime soon. What was the call here? Was it pass interference? Or did he push off? I'm like he pushed off. Whew. See if I make sure I got everybody caught up here. Florida's backup quarterback in the past decades have B track and field guys. Have been, I guess you're saying have been track and field guys and then auto corrected. Yeah, been. Florida just needs a good quarterback. I mean, they haven't had a good quarterback since Tebow, and everybody's kind of tired of saying Tebow. I mean, it's like, come up with a good quarterback. There's certainly plenty of talent in the state of Florida. No reason that Dan Mullen, if he's as good as he says he is, can't go find a good quarterback. Georgia is not great, and they don't scare anyone. When you win consecutive championships, call me. I don't believe that's the case for anybody except maybe Florida fans. I mean, there's plenty of other fans from other teams in here. There's Alabama fans in here. There's Clemson fans in here. There's Texas fans in here. And all those guys will tell you Georgia's dominant team. Some of these Florida players are starting to play. It's probably because Ohio State's got third string in. All right, so General Shadow Man, what is your opinion of Georgia? Would you say Georgia is an elite team or are they trash? You tell me what you guys think. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being NFL caliber team and 1 being a middle school team, what do you think? It's not just my opinion. I mean, I'm not the one saying this. I mean, there's people in the channel saying this. I ain't kicking Artie out of here. He's got a right to his opinion. He makes it exciting. I mean, after Florida had the performance they had against Miami, I can promise you I would not be talking smack about how I was going to beat Georgia down. I wouldn't do that. So, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Well, first game, yeah, okay, first game, fair enough. Look at what some of these other guys have done. Look at what Ohio State's doing to their team. Look at what Texas A&M did. Look at what Clemson did. I mean, that's how you're supposed to treat a team like that. Miami with true freshman quarterback, no offensive line, first year head coach. You should have drilled them into the ground 63-3. I mean, I can understand that Felipe Franks statistically had a better game than Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence's interceptions weren't in putting his team in a position to cost him the game. Felipe Franks did. If Miami got the turnovers, if they could have scored points on those turnovers, if they could have got 2 field goals, If Miami hadn't had a touchdown callback for a holding, which I think is bogus because holding happens on every play, if they hadn't missed a field goal earlier in the game from a guy who normally makes a kick, that was a chip shot, they could have kicked a field goal at the end and win. Florida snuck by with that win, and everybody knows it. Dan Mullen should have had his team better prepared and should have went out there and beat the crap out of them. Franks is the same old dude from last year. No maturity has happened despite what he said. That is correct, Keith. Do you see wide receiver as a weakness at Georgia? No. Lawrence Cager came over from Miami. That guy's going to be elite. You're going to have George Pickens. He's going to be out there. Wide receiver position is not going to be a detriment this year. It's going to be a positive this year. Georgia beat Notre Dame by 1 point a couple of years ago, and they went on to the playoffs. One game doesn't judge anything. Well, we'll see. When Georgia becomes the new dynasty of the SEC, when Georgia becomes the new dynasty of the SEC, then tell me I'm wrong already. The huge question mark for Gators was them not being able to run the ball at all. They got to be better at that. There's a lot of work to be done at Florida. They didn't, and I'm not trying to rag on Florida. I can rag on Florida. Trust me, I can rag on Florida. They couldn't run the ball. Struggled to pass the ball. Felipe Franks run around. Look, he was running around for his life. It didn't look good. It was just one of the sloppiest football games I've ever seen, and I'm not the one that says that. I mean, college football fans all over the place said that. Everybody watched that game. Everybody was so starved for college football. We watched that game because we're dying of thirst. We'll drink anything. You really can't when you have no chips in 40 years. There's more to football than just how many championships you hang on the wall. More to it. College football fans don't coach Florida. At this point, some of us might be able to and do a better job. Does anyone know when the live stream? Does anyone know any live streams for games? No, I don't. Miami's true freshmen look better than Frank's. Florida should be better in the next couple of coming up weeks, but as the season plays out, I just don't think Dan Mullen is a good fit down there. I know he's from Florida. I get it. But I think that traditionally they do better with they would do better with a different coach. I mean, even if you put you can put Willie Taggart in there and I think he would do better. I really do. I think you get a better quarterback than what you got. Florida, there's been a strong rivalry between Florida and Georgia for eons. And I don't know anybody except Florida fans that are saying Florida is a strong team. I mean, when we get to the game, it'll be. No, I'm serious. Florida traditionally has been a better team than what they are now. McElwain had that team win the SEC East back to back, and now they're about half a step above Tennessee, and they got to fix it. Keith said Florida was the most overrated team in college football based off of their preseason rankings. It totally fed into the proponents of the SEC bias. Yes, in other words, you guys made the SEC look bad. Who got blew out in the championship? Are you talking about with McElwain? At least you got there. Yeah, but I'm saying you got there. You were able to step onto the field, and that was a step in the right direction. I don't know anybody that thinks McElwain's going to get. Mullen's going to get there. LSU is not the most overrated team every year. They're not. They're a pretty strong team. Florida fans knew those teams were going anywhere. I think you meant weren't going anywhere. Checking the games out. Hold on. Let's see what's going on. It's 28-0 for the Ohio State game. Like an Ole Miss. What's the score to this game? Oh, you broke that pass up pretty good. LSU for real this year. LSU's retooling their offense. We'll see what happens. They got a shot to be good. Just Georgia fans think that Mullen can't get there. I ain't the only one, man. It ain't just me. Memphis is holding on to a 7-point lead against Ole Miss. So, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, they all on the edge of getting kicked out of the SEC. Florida isn't on Georgia's radar at all. You have to look up in life. Bama is who we are after. Kentucky versus Toledo. Kentucky's actually tied it up now. It's 14-14 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Toledo has the ball on the 30-yard line on their side of the field. I don't know if it was false start or encroachment right there. Oh, he's asking head-to-head. That's a good question. False start on the offense. Back him up. Whew, man. Let's see here. I want to see how this Kentucky defensive line looks. See how they do. Looks okay. Threw that away a mile. Tiger Raven says, South Carolina fans still talking about a 2010 South Carolina game, thinking they will beat Alabama again at William Bryce Stadium. They do that every year to everybody, man. Don't feel bad. General says, hey, Brett, as Florida's QB for 3 years, Felipe Franks has thrown a combined total of 35 interceptions in his career. In a solo 6 left in Fortnite, Carson, make sure you got the proper tools, man, to med up. Florida, it's in the swamp. I will be there, but I would like for Auburn to win. That's a lie. So you saying Felipe Franks does not have 35 interceptions in his career? "35 interceptions." Is that in his career, or is that just let's see. Let's go to let me check. I read the stats of his combined years. Well, make sure you're not reading like high school, man. You're gonna throw a stat out there. Let's try and make sure it's right. What do I think about Oklahoma versus Oklahoma and Houston? Give me a second here. Okay, let's see. Here he is. This guy reminds me of somebody, but I can never remember who he reminds me of. Let's see. His career stats, from what I can see, from 2017, 2018, and 2019, look to be 16. Looks like 16 to me. Career total. You must be talking about it. Is there a JUCO school or something on here some stat you're finding that I can't find? Just hit see all, I guess. Okay, 16. I'm only seeing 16. 2016, 17, 18, and 19 is a grand total of 16. So I don't know where that number come from. Hey, Artie, I called him out on a bad stat, man. I'm not completely against you. Maybe in high school. Like I said, I'm all for Raz in Florida, but you gotta do it the right way. Here we go. Let's see what they do right here. Toledo versus Kentucky. Snap the ball, running back up the middle. O-line absolutely collapsed. Running back picked up about 8 yards. That ain't gonna work against Georgia. Still, 16 interceptions ain't good. That's true. 2017, he had 8 interceptions. 2018, he had 6. And in 2019, so far, he's had 2. So if he averages 2 the rest of the season, he'll have at least 14. That's closer to 35. Let's see what he say. Who do you respect? Who do I respect more, Johnny Manziel or Baker Mayfield? You're going to get a lot of people to hate those guys, but I'm going to give you something really interesting here. I respect Baker Mayfield more than Johnny Manziel. I'm going to tell you why. One of the practices after the games, Baker Mayfield, or excuse me, before practice or during practice or something, whatever, they had a signing event. And Baker Mayfield got called back to the field. Well, he had reached a part in the line where there was some soldiers there, and they had been waiting to get a signature. And Baker Mayfield, even though he was called back to the field, he told them no. He said, I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to finish talking to these soldiers. He signed everything they asked. He spent all the time with them they wanted. And then once that was done, he went back to the field. So for that reason, I have more respect for Baker Mayfield than I do for Johnny Manziel. Also, Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, is a better quarterback. Now that he's gotten to the pros, he's around some guys who are a lot more mature. He's kind of settled down a little bit. He still has a lot of fire and passion, but he's calmed it down. Let's see. Yeah, false stats, man. He's like, I'll own that one. It's my bad. Good call. So to me, it's more of, players can make mistakes. Players can be jack wagons or whatever you want to call them, but you got to give a kid an opportunity to grow. When they're in college, I mean, they're still a kid. I mean, I didn't feel like I was now that I'm older, looking back, I don't feel like I was probably an adult until I was really like 30, maybe even 35. Let's look at this South Atlantic versus Nebraska game. Let's see how this is going. Not a Mayfield fan, but he was 100 times the quarterback Manziel is. I agree. Died because they got killed by all three people. Yeah, when you get third party like that, it sucks, man. Mississippi State and Louisville Lafayette are tied at 14. Oh, put the juke on him. Can he catch him? Oh, it's like Nebraska's got him edged out, 14-7. 4 minutes to go in the half. Nebraska has the ball on their own 27-yard line. Martinez back to pass, running for his life, gets sacked. Ooh, big loss, about a 10-yard loss. It was 1st and 15 to start with. Now it's like second and about a quarter of a mile. This is going to be a very good college football season. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a great season. Nick Chubb will show out with the Browns this year. Showed out last year. Martinez running for his life. See, this right here is proof positive that Scott Frost is not the coach everybody thought he was. He's struggling. He is struggling with an unranked South Alabama team. And I mean struggling. 2nd and 23, what do? Run up the gut, get 4 yards. So now it's 3rd and roughly 2 zip codes to a first down. 3rd and 19. Good night. Nebraska overrated. Nebraska's almost always overrated, man. Can't wait to see our offense will look against tonight against Vandy. It's going to look dominant. They're all kids, but you don't see anybody else grabbing his crotch and talking trash. I agree with that now. I agree with that. Not saying it's acceptable. What I am saying, though, is that at some point, if he transitions into being a reasonable, decent human being, I can say, hey, that was in the past. Guys kind of made opinions moving forward. I don't hate your guts anymore. Don't necessarily like you, but I'm further away from the I can't stand you anymore problem. Get caught up here. And they punt. Let's see. Punt the ball down to about the. Get away from the ball, you idiot. What are you doing? Man, as a guy who's coached football, whenever I see a return guy who's kind of lollygagging around the ball and it's bouncing around, what are you doing, man? Just get on away from the ball. There's no point in you even being there. And to me, that's a strong indication of how good your coaching staff is. A good special teams coach will lose his mind if he sees a guy do that. Because a football can take a funny tumble and skip off your foot, and then there's 4 or 5 defenders there to recover that ball. You're not going to get it. Scott Frost got a lot of hype for going 12-0 at UCF, but UCF is still doing great without him, so I'd say he isn't as great as people thought. That's pretty accurate. Don't judge the SEC. The big boys play later on. There you go. Listen, every conference is going to have teams that are better than others. The bottom of the barrel for SEC is Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Arkansas, probably Kentucky, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Right now, Tennessee. Memphis is putting it on them, man. I got snatched out of a high school game for not getting away from a ball. It's fact, man. I mean, coaches should, and will lose their mind if you're hanging out down there around that ball. There's nothing good that's going to come from it. Yeah, all these Arkansas fans. That's like, listen, Arkansas fans, I don't have to interact with those guys very often, but I've been through Arkansas, and that's a scary place. I went through going through Tennessee. It's not as bad, but Tennessee neckbeard fans come out in droves whenever Georgia was going to play Kentucky, and then they promptly disappeared about 3 minutes into that game. Carson said might play running back today. Man, line up and run up the gut, man. Make them stop you. Make them stop you. But yeah, I mean it's going to be an exciting game. Add Florida. I can't beat Artie up too much, man. I can't beat him up too much. He'll lose his mind. He'll say I'm being biased. I don't care. Yeah, Florida's on that list too. There ain't no way. They got some work to do. They'll get it turned around. They need a better quarterback. They really do. Finally off football time. Man, it is so good to have football back. This is what I did. This is what I did last year to the playoffs and broke 6 tackles and scored. Get them, Carson. Make them earn it, man. Do I ever watch Pac-12 after dark games? Yes. I actually like watching Oregon play when they're playing well. I don't really like watching them when they're just kind of ho-humming around, and no, I don't watch those. But if the game's going, man, I'll watch them. Typically, my kids will go to bed, and I'll be yelling at the TV, and my wife tell me shut up. She's gonna make me go outside, so I have to keep it down. The only contenders in the SEC are Alabama, Georgia, LSU, and maybe Auburn. That's probably accurate. What's going on, C-Dog? Glad to see you, man. Welcome to join the channel. What do I think the game has passed Chip Kelly by? Yes. I think Chip Kelly had a couple of good years at Oregon. I don't think he fooled anybody. I think he was running a pretty good offense there. Then he tried to go pro. I think him going pro altered how he played football, and I think it screwed him up. I don't think he'll ever be a dominant coach again. I think he was good for a while there, and then it kind of got away from him. And football has evolved. I mean, football used to be run the ball, and I don't think it was until like 1905 that the forward pass was even legalized in football. And so everything was run the ball. So obviously the game evolved then. I don't know why this thing is asking me to show comments. I mean, Alex's comment says Ole Miss is literally trash, and I had to approve that message. But I didn't approve it on my phone. I approved it on my iPad, which is on a separate screen, which I'm not even streaming from that device. It's weird. The game has passed Les Miles by. That's probably accurate too. Georgia has renovated its offense. Alabama's renovated its offense. Dabo has renovated Clemson's offense. LSU, Coach O, Jerome Alvin is trying to renovate his offense. So you're seeing a lot of that coming around. I mean, it used to be run the ball, then it was run, pass, then it was pass, and now it's back. Some teams run the ball, some teams pass the ball, but it's starting to go to RPO. So, I mean, the triple option was around for a while. Yeah. LSU offense, go Tigers. That's all I hear when Coach O talks, man. I know Florida fans are glad they didn't get Kelly or Frost. They got Mullen, and that's a good dodge and a bullet. Yeah, to a point. To a point. At least he didn't get Muschamp back. Whew. Hello. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going to watch football today. I got to go help bring in some groceries and stuff. We're going to obviously do the halftime show. I'm going to do fan reactions. I might do another few games here and there. I'll probably do the Alabama game. So if you guys want to tune in for that, I'll be here. I look forward to seeing you guys, talking to you soon. Got to jump off. Thanks so much. God bless. Go Dogs.